how old is Tom Cruise? I just realized I wanted to look up his age. He is 62. This mother.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you happen to be new here. For today's review video, I'm taking a look at Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This, of course, stars Tom Cruise as the illustrious Ethan Hunt. And this is, I believe, the 8th Mission Impossible movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, editor, but I'm pretty sure it's the 8th. Okay. Supposedly the final edition of the Mission Impossible franchise, or at least to me, this iteration of the Mission Impossible franchise. A franchise that has been going on since, I believe, like 96 was when the first Mission Impossible movie debuted, and Tom Cruise has been running ever since. This is a continuation from Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, continuing the story with Ethan trying to stop the entity from plunging the world into chaos, which it kind of already did to a certain extent by the start of this movie. This movie does give you a pretty succinct recap at the beginning of the movie, so it does help if you haven't seen Dead Reckoning in a while or since it came out in theaters. This, of course, sees the talents of Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Angela Bassett, Pom Klementieff, and a host of other characters. I will say this about the movie. It is very exciting to watch. There's something about Tom Cruise, not to put down any current actors or anything like that. He has that big movie mentality when it comes to his production and the roles that he takes on, especially since the last few years. I want to say he's really revisited a lot of the franchises that have been near and dear to his heart, most notably Top Gun Maverick. Of course, the Mission Impossible franchise really has not taken its foot off the pedal since 96. You know, small breaks in between, but for the most part, it has been a consistent franchise over the last almost 30 years?
Great Scott.
96 to 06, 06, yeah, almost 30 years. Jesus.
I'm too old for this shit.
This movie definitely shows its love and respect for fans who have stuck around since the very first Mission Impossible. There are references and character reveals tied all the way back to that very first mission. And as a supposed finale for the franchise, it definitely paid homage to those original events, and the story reflects that, with it having great ties to not only the previous movie, but even past movies, missions, which I was pleasantly surprised about. I mean, I liked Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I thought The Final Reckoning was really well done. Like I said, for a man of his age, 62, must be something to the whole Scientology thing. But for him to do the stunts and the things he does in this movie, more than likely, majority of it practically done, except for one, which is very unbelievable. But the other one, I know for sure his crazy ass was on that plane, is a spectacle to watch. I'm watching it, and I definitely probably gave the movie the desired effect of being squirmy in my seat while he's doing some of these stunts. It was incredibly enjoyable to watch. I like Tom Cruise's performance as Ethan Hunt. He's always been very mesmerizing as the role of Ethan Hunt for all of these years. Even the supporting cast like Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg, who, while not with the original movie like Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg's character of Benji has definitely grown into his own over the entire course of the franchise that he's been a part of. The cast is great. Haley Atwell, I've enjoyed her performances all the way back since Agent Carter, and she's really kind of found her own as a character within this universe, which again is a little disheartening if this is the end of the franchise, because a lot of the characters in this movie are relatively new to the franchise, and it would be interesting to see them progress forward if they decide to revisit the Mission Impossible universe. It'll be interesting to see how much they hold the Final Reckoning to its namesake, because it would be exciting to see some of these characters return, like Palm Clementi's character, who was once an assassin and is now assisting the IMF or assisting Ethan's team, along with Haley Atwell's character. It would be nice to see them continue on if the franchise was to continue on, maybe without Ethan Hunt. It is kind of up in the air about what's going to happen. The action in the movie is fantastic, especially considering what stunts and things were done in just the last movie from a few years ago. They definitely stepped it up a lot with this movie, with the set pieces that they did, but they allowed for good character moments, especially between Ethan and Luther, Ving Rhames' character in the movie. I really liked their exchange. I thought the movie delivered on resolving a lot of threads that were introduced in the previous movie, as well as paying homage to past events and characters. So if this happens to be the last movie in the franchise, I will say Mission Impossible as a franchise overall has steadily grown to be better than the previous entry. Since like the third one, I don't think there's been a drop off in quality in the story, the action, and the driving characters within the franchise. It's a really fun movie. I highly recommend you check out Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. If you have seen the movie, let me know any thoughts that you have on it in the comments down below. Try to keep it spoiler free, as this review is spoiler free. Let me know if you would, after the events of this movie, would want to see the universe continue, with or without Ethan Hunt. It'll be interesting to see if they try to spin it off into something else. That's going to do it for this review for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Like I said, let me know any thoughts that you have on it in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for checking out this and all of my videos. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support, checking out the shorts, checking out the live streams. It really means a lot to me. Subscribe to the channel if you happen to enjoy this sort of content. I try to keep it varietied, that sort of thing. Or check out the other stuff that YouTube's popping up right here on the side of me, more than likely, depending on where it places during this closing part. But like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow me on most places at DK Quill, and until the next time, I will catch you later. See ya. This video will self-destruct in 5 seconds.